Right then, people, here we go. Euro 2024 predictions. It's that time. I'm going to be using the League Predictor app. There's a link to them in the description, and you can get the app and then get the code. The code is in front of you right now if you want to get slapped up by your boy, Jimbo. Group A, we've got Germany, we've got Hungary, we've got Scotland, and we've got Switzerland. Now, this group, I think, is a little bit misleading. And what I will say is I haven't done any kind of prior predictions here, so I'm going to see it when you see it. Germany, Hungary, Scotland, and Switzerland. You could put anyone in second spot here. Now, I know Scotland have lost Lyndon Dykes. Of course, I know that. I got a shirt with his bloody name on the back. But they are better than one individual. They are the sum of their parts. What they will need to do, Scotland, if they want to get through this, is they're going to need to outdo their XG. And they're going to need to get Scott McTominay in the box, in my opinion. But they've got a chance. They have got a chance. And what a lot of people will be saying to you is, oh, well, they haven't won in the last 7 games. That is true. But they have played some really, really top European sides in that run. And so I think that's a little bit misleading. And I think they had qualified as well by that time as well. So, Switzerland, you've got Xhaka. You've got Shaqiri coming into the later moments of his career. Okafor up top is a player to keep an eye out. I think he's really, really interesting and could be pretty devastating for them. Kanji, of course, at the back will be crucial. He likes to step up a lot of the time with the ball. They're solid. They've got a few sort of older boys, and they're still waiting for the younger guys to really take the mantle off them. But I think they are very steady. Xhaka, of course, will be the key man for them, especially going forward. You've got Zakaria and Freuler, who are good, but I think the sort of the attacking element to the game will lean upon him. And then you've got Hungary, who I think Hungary are a really, really interesting team here. You've got Szoboszlai up top, essentially. He likes to sort of drift over to that left side. Kerkez will bomb on down that left-hand side as well. And they're going to be really, really direct, Hungary. And a little cheeky prediction as well. Szoboszlai to step it up and score a free kick. If you look at the average position, you can see that basically they all start to sort of shimmy over to that left-hand side because they're looking to get the ball to Szoboszlai as much as possible. But they are super direct. I think Germany will win the group. I keep coming back to Switzerland in terms of there just being a steady team here. Hungary could really, really upset the apple cart. I think Scotland will finish 4th bottom. Oh, don't like it. Don't want to say it. But it's in a tough group. I think something's really got to come together. I'm going to do these predictions with my head. And as biased as I want to be, and I want to put them first, it's just not going to happen. 3rd, you're still trying to figure something out. And I think Hungary have got a little bit too much for them. But Hungary, I think as good as people think they are, I'm not seeing it. Not totally. They have been impressive. They've beaten, England in the Nations League. They've had some really good wins, but I think they've been playing a lot of teams of a similar level. And I think that first game for them is going to be crucial against Switzerland. Scotland played Germany in the opening game of the tournament. I think Hungary might finish bottom of this group. I think a lot of people are sort of gassing them up a little bit, but I'm just not sure about it. Keep an eye out for Salai as well. I think he's a really interesting player for them. Very good. Solid team. But I'm not having it. A lot of people will put them higher up. I think it is a hipster's choice, and I understand that. But for me, I'm not sure. Group B. Albania, Croatia, Italy, and Spain. Now, I think the one thing to say is when it comes to sort of overall shocks, it's going to be difficult because you've got the 4 best third-place teams in a 6-group competition making their way through to the next round. So that's going to make life a little bit harder. But what I will say is with a couple of groups that are very intense and very kind of well matched, they're going to be tight games. I feel like that's where you might get one of these guys finishing 4th. I don't think that would be the case here, but what I would be nervy about when it comes to Italy, I think Italy could finish in 3rd spot. When you look at how they've been playing, the last couple of games they've moved to that back 3. Will Spalletti stick with that? Got a couple of victories in those friendlies. Prior to that, just looked very, very poor. If he goes to the back 3, which I would understand because it was a move that he's very clearly made in the last break, then what you do step into is a bit of a box formation. Zaniolo in that, Jorginho, Barella, and I think it will be lacking somewhat against other teams that have very good midfields. Croatia, we know what Croatia are about, and they always show up when it comes to any kind of tournament, although I think in the Euros, history-wise, it's not always gone their way. But I think that Spain will win the group. I think Spain will win the group comfortably. I think Spain are being slept on quite severely, but it's one where it's about that first 11. Then after that, it does seem to drop off a little bit. So in the later rounds, we'll get to it. It will be about the styles of play, but I think the control will be there from Spain, and I think they will control this group. I think they've been very impressive. Morata being the captain, I think he'll have a good competition for them. You've got Lamine Yamal on one side, you've got Rodri in the middle, you've got Pedri, you've got Nico Williams on that left-hand side as well. I think it's a very, very strong Spanish side, but it is in between two generations, I think I would say that. Or it's it's a little bit undercooked. That said, I think they'll do it. Croatia, they always show up. Italy, I have concerns about. I think Italian fans, let me know in the comments down below. I think you yourselves will go, we might do all right. And it's one of those Italian squads where there's a good, Bellanova on the left-hand side, but it's up top for Italy that I'm struggling. You've got Scamacca, Raspadori will be up there as well. I'm just not really seeing it when it comes to Italy. And, of course, you've not got Chiellini, you've not got Bonucci anymore. It's going to be different. They've got good players overall. The overall level is solid and high. I just think Croatia might just pull it out the bag one last time. Modric, Brozovic, there's a debate if he's going to play or not. It might be Vlasic, but I think in a game like Italy or Spain, I think they will go with Brozovic to try and get that bit of control. And I've seen those guys in the flesh over in Qatar. I remember they just hang in there. Gvardiol going to be a crucial player for them as well. So I'm putting Croatia through, and we'll talk about Italy in terms of will they get the points to get through in a second. Wow. Good grief, this is thirsty work. It's going to be an amazing summer and you need refreshment, which is why it's perfect that today's video is sponsored by Beer 52. Do you fancy a free case of beer for Father's Day? Well, my friends at Beer 52 are offering you, that's right, you, a free case of 8 exclusive London beers developed in collaboration with the Transport for London. Simply go to www.beer52.com, that's beer52.com/James, and cover just the £5.95 postage to claim your free case of 8 unique beers right now. Beer 52 are the UK's #1 beer club, showcasing the best breweries from around the world. This month, they teamed up with a host of London's most innovative breweries to create an exclusive case of beers, celebrating the city's incredible transport network and brewing excellence. You can discover the concepts behind the beers with, of course, the award-winning Ferment magazine, which includes a one-of-a-kind craft beer tube map developed in collaboration with TFL. London legends Two Tribes offer up KX to celebrate the cultural hub. And I love cultural hubs. That is King's Cross. That is banging. It's a smooth IPA. It's bursting with tropical flavours and a soft mouthfeel that makes it smooth. Moorish. It's a masterpiece. And if you don't like dark beer, make sure you just choose the light case. You also get a couple of snacks for free as well. So even if after all of that, you're still unsatisfied with Beer 52, you can simply pause or cancel anytime. So that's www.beer52. That's beer52.com/James to claim your free case of beer right now. That's beer52.com/James. Links in the description. Group C. Now, the longer I look at it, the more nervous I get about it. I've got to be honest. With Slovenia, I think it's between them and Serbia to be the bottom two. Denmark makes me pretty nervous as well, I'll be honest. I think we'll win the group. I think we will, but I think the Denmark game, I could see us maybe drawing that and winning the other two. Serbia, they do concede a lot of goals. Slovenia, they've got a team that's got certain elements that could get them a naughty victory. You've got Jan Oblak at the back. You've got Sesko up top. That means that you can outplay XG. You can hang in there. You can make big saves. And then you've got someone in Sesko who's in great form right now. A lot of teams looking at him. But I think when you're going on about the goalkeeper, which when we go through all these teams, you have to go through the goalkeepers. But when it's about one player in Jan Oblak, yes, he could have a great period for them. I don't think it'll be enough. So I think Serbia will finish in 3rd place. Denmark will stop us from getting total points, I think. I think they might get themselves a draw against us. And I think they are a little bit underrated. You've got Højlund. You've got a midfield that maybe is aging a little bit. I get that. But I still think they're a very solid team. Mailer on one side. You know, Damsgaard's got something to prove. And Christensen at the back, very steady. Kjær as well. Look, it's aging, but I think it could still do okay, and the expectation is very, very low on them. Group D, Austria, France, Netherlands, Poland, another tough group. again, on paper, I think Poland are really bad. I think they're a poor side. You've got Zielinski in that side, who's obviously a good player, but they're very direct, but not great with it. You've got Lewandowski in that side, who's not the same player anymore, and he's dropping deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper to get on the ball, and therefore he's as far away from goal as you can imagine, and that's not going to help them. He and they will finish in fourth spot, in my opinion. And then there's confusion here, because you've got a Netherlands side who have so much talent in the centre-back positions, out wide. You've got Maatsen not even making it into the squad, and obviously I know he had a bad Champions League final. They have so much potential, but I believe that their manager, I feel like he's a problem. I think he's going to hold them back, and I feel like from a man management point of view, I don't really see him getting out of this group what he should be getting, because, look, okay, you've got Cody Gakpo and Weghorst up top, which some people might not think is great, but Cody Gakpo, I think, is a very, very talented footballer and finished the season very, very well. And then aside from that, Memphis Depay, you've got Frankie de Jong in there, you've got Virgil van Dijk, Matthijs de Ligt, you've got so many quality players there. Dumfries and Frimpong on that right-hand side, so much quality there. They should be pulling up trees. But in Austria, you've got a really, really well-drilled team, another dark horse. France, I think, will top the group. Talk about France maybe a little bit later on, because I think they're going to go deep in this competition. Austria, of all the teams here, they are the most joined up. You've got so many players who've played for Salzburg. You've got Rangnick, who's very clear in what he wants, and what he wants is very similar to what those players have been educated in. And therefore, you've got a team that can gegenpress, which you just rarely see when it comes to international football. And I think that could really, really hurt some teams. A bit like, you saw the energy of Dortmund against Real Madrid. Yes, Real Madrid far more talented, and of course they won the game. I get that. But for a period of that game, you saw that the energy in transition was enough to kind of overpower them. And I feel like we're going to see something similar here. I think this Austrian side could really, really do something pretty special in this tournament, and I think they'll finish second in the group. I think Netherlands might get a bit of a shock here when they play against Austria, and I think Austria will get the job done. You'll have Sabitzer on one side, Baumgartner on the other side, Gregoritsch up top. Again, the names aren't phenomenal, but the team feels really, really well put together. And so I think Austria will do well. I think you'll have Netherlands in third spot. Group E, you've got a Belgium side that actually I think people are sleeping on a little bit. I think the defence is a bit creaky. It makes you a little bit concerned, but they could cause a shock. And I think they'll be very comfortable in their group. It's going to be interesting to see how they set up top. You've got Lukaku, but you've got Luis Openda, who's had a great season. You've got Bakayoko, who's a really exciting player. You've got Doku on the left-hand side, and then you've got Trossard as well. You're trying to fit him in the team. Kevin De Bruyne, of course, crucial as well. And you wonder, with Hazard popping out, Courtois not going to this tournament, will that kind of help in terms of the overall morale of the team? And the expectations are low. So I think they'll dominate their group. I actually think the bottom two are quite simple. I think it'll be Slovakia, and I think it'll be Romania. And I think Ukraine will do very, very well. I really like the setup of their team. I think there's a really, really strong balance there when you think of the sort of spread of players. You've got Dovbyk up top. You've got Zinchenko in midfield. Sudakov is definitely one player I want people to keep an eye on. He is going to be on the ball, pippity-popping it about. Very, very tidy little player. And I think overall they've got really good, solid players all over. Not just like a Serbia where they're sort of like a little bit front heavy. They've got a team where they've got a nice balance throughout the team, and I think it could really, really come to fruition for them. I think they'll finish second. Group F is cut and dry for me. Portugal will be top of that group quite comfortably. It then comes down to Czechia and Turkey, and I think Turkey will have just enough quality. I think there's a lack of quality in the Czechia side, and Georgia, I think, will struggle as well. They will defend for their lives, be quite direct, and hope that something happens on the break. Of course, you've got Kvaratskhelia up top. And he will, what I would say, a little prediction for them, if they are in the game late on, or if they are 1-0 up late on in a game, expect him to go through one-on-one, which could be one of the iconic moments of the Euros, if that happens and they prove me wrong. Again, similar thing where they've got a target up top that could hurt the opposition. And on the other end of it, you've got someone like Mamadashvili who can hurt them. But I just don't see it. And so Turkey, I think with Arda Güler, they've got a few players in the same position, but if they can figure that out, I think they've got a real solid depth there, and I think they'll find their way into the next round. Okay, so let's make our way through. I haven't seen this before. Right, third place entries. Interesting. So, Scotland, and for any of these teams, it's about kind of winning one game. I've got Romania in there. And I think when it comes to those easier groups, so there's a clear 2, that then makes it feel like it's 3 points or less when it comes to those guys. So who can get 4 points? Italy can beat Albania and get another point. So it could well be them. Those games will be tight as well. And they might score a few goals against Albania. Serbia, tough. But the game against Slovenia, will they have a little bit too much going forward? I wonder if they might. Romania versus Slovakia. I think they might get the job done there. Can they get a draw against Ukraine? I don't know, but I think they'll get themselves a victory, and 3 points might just be enough. I'll put Romania through. Now, Netherlands. Netherlands have got such a tough group, but they've also obviously got the ability to win games. They will beat Poland. I think they will beat Poland quite handsomely, and they could easily get a draw against Austria as well. But overall, even with the goals, I think they'll get that done. One more. I want it to be Scotland. Obviously, I want it to be Scotland. Can Serbia do more damage than Scotland? Are Scotland going to lose all their games? Can Scotland win a game? I could see Scotland drawing too. Do I just let bias play? In terms of getting a point or 4 points, Czech Republic have probably got a better shout. Not doing it though. Sorry. Scotland make it through. Hooray! Come on, the lads. Right. Interesting. So here we have it. I've not seen these yet. So Spain take on Netherlands. Spain, I think, win that 1-0. But it will be tight. And Netherlands will put up a proper fight when it comes to that. I think in those big games, actually, that's where... My concern with them is that against teams that they think they should beat, that's where they might come a little bit unstuck. But I think in some of these games, a game against Spain, I think Spain might just about have their way with them. Germany against Denmark. I think this is where the end of the road is for Denmark. Germany, I think, would win that. I think they would win that pretty comfortably as well. I think with the quality that they've got against another midfield that aren't outrageous when it comes to legs. In Denmark, I think they might get the job done. And actually, it might be pretty handsome. I'm going to go 3-1. Portugal versus Italy. On paper, that, when you see those logos, you think, wow, this is going to be really, really tight. I think Portugal are something special. I think the squad depth that they've got is absolutely phenomenal. And actually, I think in Roberto Martinez, with that group, I think you've got a team that has a really advanced tactical setup with players that can deal with that as well. And of course, superstars all over the pitch and the depth of it as well, right? For example, Paulinho might start as that single pivot, but you've got someone like João Neves possibly on the bench. It's crazy. I think they win it. Maybe 2-0. Oh, you can never discount Italy. 2-1. Austria versus Ukraine. Now, here we have something. Because now, of course, you've got both teams with a real chance of making it through. Wow, tough. I did not want to see that. Austria might just have a little bit more nous against a team that has got a lot of players that have had a great season, but maybe are just that touch younger. So I'm going to give them the victory. Tight. Could even go to penalties, that one. Belgium versus Scotland. Come on. Right. Okay. Wow. Can they hold it together? Can they hurt them on the break? Scotland. You never know. You never know. We kind of do know. I'm going to go with my head here, guys. I'm going to be reasonable with it. I think Belgium would have a little bit too much. Ugh. Give them a goal. 2-1. France versus Turkey. I think this is comfortable. I think it's 2-0. I think they'll play with them quite comfortably, France. England against Romania. Wow, buzzing with that. Okay, we will take that. And again, Southgate ain't beating anyone, but he keeps beating them, doesn't he? But he obviously doesn't totally push it through. Anyway, I think we'll win that. We'll win that comfortably. It's Romania. Come on. God, that's going to get clipped off if we lose to Romania. And then you've got Switzerland against Croatia. Again, really tight one there. Interesting. Croatia on penalties. Croatia on penalties. No, heartbreak. Switzerland on penalties. Story comes the whole way around. We're in the quarterfinals, people. We're in the quarterfinals. So, we've got Spain against Germany. Wow. Now, Germany, the other thing I think that's important to say is actually there's a lot of players in that group that have had really kind of good seasons, and they come into it with really good momentum. Schlotterbeck, as I've spoken about, Füllkrug in that team, Havertz in that team, Wirtz in that team. And Nagelsmann has put together a squad where he's been brave. He's been brave enough to make those changes. Gundogan's had a great season as well. Musiala's not been awful, has he? Oh, if they take on someone else, Spain go through, but I think Germany will just about have enough. I think by this point, hopefully they're in a groove. It's a funny one. People I hear from Germany, that they're not totally bought into Die Mannschaft or Der Mannschaft, whatever it may be. So it'd be interesting to see what the feeling's like. But surely in your own country, that's a home game, and that might just about get them over the line, unless Rodri can deal with that midfield. I think that midfield might just be a little bit too much. But again, Spain, you've got Dani Olmo, Pedri, and you've got Rodri. And that is an absolute barnstorming game. Could do them. They could do them if they're just a little bit too clever for them. I'm going to stick with Germany by a goal. Portugal, Austria. I'm going to go with Portugal here. Again, I think the quality is just that little bit too high by this point. And Austria, I think, will give them a hell of a game. And I think it could be one for the ages. 3-2 to Portugal. If not, of course, Roberto Martinez gets absolutely destroyed in all of this. Time will tell. I'm going to go with Portugal. Belgium versus France. The battle of the three-stripe flag. When it comes to France, the squad depth is outrageous. I think when you take out a player, you can bring in another player who's exactly the same in terms of overall quality, maybe aside from the fullback positions. And I think it will be France. I think they will win it. I think they will be the sort of villainous machine that's just going, ooh, France. You know. France to make it through, I think maybe comfortably. I think the back line's going to creak against Mbappe and the like, and Griezmann might have his way as well. And then England, Switzerland. Red cross on a white background versus of course, white cross on the red background. Now, this is, honestly, I swear to God, this is not what I expected. But obviously, again, the way this is panning out, I can't believe that. I think we go through. And I think we'll be fine. Switzerland, Romania, this is going very well. I think a lot of people are expecting this. I think if you don't see these four in the semi-finals, someone's messed up. These are the four best teams, I think, in terms of your sort of the prime, the experience, the star quality. And obviously, we have concerns about England and injuries, and I get that. France, I think, look, they've got so much quality. Can we get at them? Will we have that ability to get that revenge from them? That is the best way to do it, obviously. But the French team is pretty phenomenal. But we've got great players too. Germany against Portugal. Both so hard, these semi-finals to pick. I'm going to go with, I think Germany will get their hearts broken. I think it could be a 2-1. I think Portugal have got it. I think they really have something. I know people will turn in their nose up at Roberto Martinez, and I get it. But I just cannot not look at that squad. And they've just got a lot of answers. And actually, I really like the way they're playing. Bruno Fernandes. They found a way to get Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo to stay away from each other. And by staying away from each other, they can then find each other. Well, obviously, Fernandes can go and find him. Bernardo Silva, a real selfless role as ever by him. And just quality. You know, I've even spoken about Rafael Leao on the left-hand side. So much quality in this team. Ruben Diaz at the back. Antonio Silva. It's a joke. And I think they'll break Germany's hearts. That's how football works, generally. England, France. Now, England, look, we've got so much quality there, and we've got a group of players in their prime. I'm concerned about the left-back position. I'm concerned about the centre-back positions. And I'm concerned about the lack of chemistry when it comes to the midfield. But by this point, if you've got to a semi-final, I think, do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, because of the teams that they will have played, I think England might be a little bit, not undercooked, but they won't have played hard enough opposition. And then they'll come up against a France side. Let's go back one. France will have played Belgium, which is, I guess it's a step up. But France will have had a harder group as well. I really believe in that. And I think that's what's going to cost England. When I speak with my head, when I speak with my heart, we're going to win it. Foden's going to score the winner in the final. I said that in July last year. But knowing us, it'll be us losing. It'll be a 2-2. And we'll lose on penalties. Or they'll just beat us 2-1. Probably more likely that we might be just that little bit cold when it comes to those big, big games. Ugh. Final, Portugal-France. 2016 all over again. France, you would expect to win. There's a reason why France will be in the final for most people's predictions. I can't look away from Portugal. This is such a great final. It'll be a phenomenal final. And they'll be cooking by this point. Okay, I've decided. My winner of Euro 2024, according to my predictions, winning their second Euros, is going to be Portugal. I think Portugal might do it, and I think they might do it in extra time, and I think they'll do it 2-1. If you want to find out what a supercomputer said after 10,000 simulations when it comes to the Euros, click right here.